Good morning, everybody. We got a pretty good slate of NBA games going on tonight, Wednesday, March 8th. So what I'm going to be doing is giving you my favorite NBA player prop best bets for today. So hopping on oddsjam, hopping on the positive expected value page, finding some mathematically profitable NBA player props. I will say I did this yesterday and things did not go well for me. There's a little bit of an issue with our bet tracker, or else I would show you, but I promise I'm not lying when I say that yesterday I had 5 picks and those picks went 1 and 4. So it was a rough NBA player prop day for me yesterday, but that's kind of just the ebbs and flows of sports betting. So hopefully today will be better. As for me, my name is Matt Modi. I am a content producer for oddsjam.com. And then, of course, you can find me on Twitter at my Twitter handle, Jedi Modi, both on the screen here, also in the description of the video. Other than that, would appreciate it if you could like, comment, and subscribe, and we can get right into it. So I mentioned that we use oddsjam, the positive EV page, to find these mathematically profitable bets. And the first one that we're going to go ahead and lock in here is Fred VanVleet over 7.5 assists. This is at minus 120 odds at BetMGM. So the reason why that this play has profitability in the entire process and concept behind positive expected value betting in general all comes from these no vig odds you see here. So every single play, they're going to be odds under this no vig odds column. And the cool thing about the oddsjam positive EV page is you can filter specifically for the NBA and specifically for player props. So that's only what we're seeing on the screen here are NBA player props. But to go back to the no vig odds here, we see these odds at minus 122.46. So there's a video on this YouTube channel detailing positive expected value betting and why it's so valuable. A long process, a long detail of positive EV betting in that video. For the purposes of this video, what you need to know is that the no vig odds are viewed as the perfect line of what a market should be priced at, the most accurate line of a market, which in this case is Fred VanVleet over 7.5 assists. So you can view these no vig odds as the true line of this market. And because we are getting better odds, and better odds just means more favorable to the sports bettor than the no vig odds. So no vig line, oddsjam perfect line at minus 122, BetMGM offering it at minus 120. The gap between those two numbers is why this bet is mathematically profitable. And I won't go into too much detail, but these no vig odds are pulled from the sharpest sports books in the world in terms of pricing odds. So oddsjam tested previous betting opportunities and use that data to determine what sportsbooks actually are the sharpest in terms of pricing odds, what sportsbooks actually do the best job, and then spits out the weighted average from those sportsbooks into these no vig odds here. So that's why it's so powerful. And the gap between these two numbers, as I mentioned, is your profitability. Then what I like to do is just get an idea of what the other markets price a play at. For player props, it's a little bit different. For game props, Pinnacle is pretty much regarded as the source of truth. But for player props, you like to look at a little bit more, a wider gap of data. And for this one, the minus 120 at BetMGM, I like to look at like FanDuel minus 150, DraftKings minus 140, BetRivers minus 148. And then we also see like Caesars, PointsBet, all price it decently above the BetMGM number of minus 120. So the fact that Pinnacle only has it at 5 cents higher doesn't scare me off, because just look at the rest of the markets, right? We have Bet365 and Pinnacle at minus 125. The rest of them are between minus 140 all the way up to minus 155. And again, we got it at minus 120. So I'm not scared off, like I said, from the Pinnacle line. The most important thing, specifically and especially for player props, is that you're getting an outlier compared to the majority of the other sports books. Like I said, for a game prop, like a main market, like a money line spread or total, I'll pretty much only go off of Pinnacle. But for player props, you need a little bit more data just because there's a little bit higher variance involved in all that stuff. So play number 1, we are looking at Fred VanVleet to go over 7.5 assists, minus 120 odds at BetMGM. Next up, the second play, and actually the last play for this video, is going to be Jarrett Allen over 9.5 rebounds, plus 118 odds at Caesars. So I have locked in both of these plays. The Fred VanVleet one locked in right here. As you can see, Fred VanVleet over 7.5 assists. I also locked in Jarrett Allen, as you can see right here, over 9.5 total rebounds. So the OddsJam perfect line prices this Jarrett Allen play at about plus 117. Caesars is offering it at plus 118. So a little bit of a smaller gap between these two numbers, but still a gap nonetheless. And that's the most important thing. So I personally am not scared off by smaller gaps between the no vig odds and the odds of the bet that I'm placing, because it's all about the fact that A, the gap is there, and B, where all the other sportsbooks have it priced. In this case, Caesars is the clear outlier. There is no other sportsbook that is pricing a play close to the Caesars number, right? The closest books are plus 105, plus 104, all the way down to minus 105. And we're getting it for plus 118. So no book even is offering it above plus 105 aside from Caesars. So that is a pretty good price, which is why I am comfortable with, like I said, the smaller gap between these two numbers. So Jarrett Allen over 9.5 rebounds, plus 118 odds at Caesars is my second and final pick for this video. These last two I did not deem good enough outliers, something that I wasn't comfortable betting. So just having a smaller slate today, smaller card today with only 2 picks, but very confident in both of these. I'm confident we're going to have a 2-0 night ahead of us. But what I will say is, as odds are constantly changing over the course of the day, I'll be giving out more and more picks as the day goes on. I also do my own NBA handicapping, but those come out later in the day. Wait for the injury news to drop and all that stuff. Currently 13-5 on my NBA handicapping picks since I started with this last week. So definitely make sure to give me a follow on Twitter to get all of that information. And that is it. So appreciate everybody for watching. Please remember, as I said, to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up on Twitter, and that's it. So appreciate you guys for watching, and have a good one.